So when we are talking about web application, so what do you guys understand by this? What is this thing? What is going on at the back end? So if you go by the definition, so what this definition has been saying, a web application or an application software that run in the web browser, unlike the software program that run locally and natively on the operating system or into the devices. Okay, now when we are talking about an web application, does your client and a server comes in your mind, isn't it? So what is actually happening at the back end? So let's first understand that, and down the line we'll discuss into this. Okay, so what is happening whenever a user want to visit any application? So what he is doing, let's say, okay, let's say this is my user, okay, and what he want to access, he want to access some web application or into a web server. Now inside this, what we have an application and we have an database. Okay, now user will send a particular request to the server, isn't it? That he want to access this particular page. Let's say this page is of an facebook.com. Okay, what you will be doing, you will be simply typing www.facebook.com in the URL at your end, and you will be seeing the Facebook page, isn't it? Okay, so whole thing, what is actually happening, let's say if that particular page is asking for an credential, login credential. So what you will be doing, you will be putting up a username and you will be putting in a password. Correct. So when you put this particular username and password, where does this credential go? When you're putting particularly a username and password, this credential are been going at the back end of this database. Okay, and that particular database is supposed to process those credentials for you and getting your reply back whether you are you have entered the correct credential or not, or you had entered any particular false credential. Okay, so this is how your genuine request look like. Okay, so you are interacting with this particular application, you are sending a request into this web application, it will reply back with a login page. Once that has been requested, once you fill that particular credential, it is going inside a database will going to reply back this application that you had entered a correct credential or you had entered any particular wrong credential. Then this application will going to reply back to an user with the page. Okay, either the particular reply back is either it's an true, either it's an false. Okay, so this application receives the response. If that particular response is true, application will give you the page and you are successfully logged in inside that particular Facebook. If it is false, again it is giving you a page where it is asking you to put your credential correctly. Correct. Now, what if you can or as a part of this whole request for an application or for the page, what if you can make this whole request directly in the database, which is running in the backend? Okay, so we will be looking into in practical down the line that how to access this particular database and how to inject our query inside this database and try to collect an information of the user, username, password, and all the details what is stored inside this particular database. Okay, so we will be attacking into this situation. We will try to understand that what particular point has been happening. Okay, so let's get back to the introduction first. We'll be looking it down the line. Okay, we'll be performing an injection. Okay, so certainly in web application, what we are doing, we are trying to find a vulnerability with various attack, that is an SQL injection, cross-site scripting, and your session hijacking. Okay, now when we are particularly talking about a web application, there is a list of top 10 attacks. Okay, so we'll be covering that too as well. We'll be looking into an OWASP top 10 list. So let's see what are those. Okay. First, we'll talk about this web app top 10 list of an OWASP. Then we'll be looking into an status code. Okay. Now, when I am particularly talking about an OWASP top 10, okay. Now, this OWASP means Open Web Application Security Okay, so
Okay.
we will be following this. We will be looking into this OWASP top 10. Now, what does this OWASP does? Okay, now when this particular web application or your web is been introduced during that time, what this particular OWASP does, they had make this particular list public. Okay, and this list is your well-known attack list. That most of the attacks is been done in those particular time frame when this particular OWASP was being introduced, when your this web application
Okay.
was being introduced. Okay, now this OWASP was been introduced in the year 2013. Okay, so OWASP was been introduced in 2013. Previous to that, uh, there was a list out in an 2010 as well. Okay, before to that, we were been going with an 2017 list. Now we have an updated list that is of 2021. Okay. Now, in 2000 list, at the very first, what they have done, they had put an injection because injection was a very well-known attack during those days. Okay. And they had categorized the top 10 attacks, the top 10 vulnerability attacks. In each following 3 years, they keeps on updating this attack. Okay, first they came up with an injection because injection was very vulnerable during those days. Very well known attacks. followed by your A2, that is your broken authentication and session management, followed by your cross-site scripting, that is your XSS attack, followed by insecure direct object reference, followed by a security misconfiguration, sensitive data exposure, missing function level access control. Then we have a cross-site request forgery, using component with well-known vulnerability, unvalidated, redirect, and forward. Okay, now this list has been updated into 2017. So in 2017, they had introduced some new attacks and they had merged some of the attacks. Can you see over here? Insecure direct object reference and your missing function level access control is been merged inside this, inside your broken access control. Standard, the injection was very much popular and very well-known attack during those days as well, followed by a broken authentication, followed by a sensitive data exposure. Correct. Then they had introduced a new one, that is your XML entities. Okay. Then they had introduced, there was one more famous attack, that is your security misconfiguration. Okay. XSS, that is your cross-site scripting. Again, they had introduced a new attack because this attack was been moved from down to up. It comes under that particular top 10 list, insecure deserialization. Okay, then we have is your using component and known vulnerability. Again, it has been introduced with new attack, that is your insecure login and monitoring. Okay, now in injection we have multiple types as well. Okay, this has been categorized with each and every level. When we are talking about an injection, in injection what we have, you can go with MySQL injection. Okay, these are the major types in injection. You can go with command injection. You can go with LDAP injection. Go with XML injection. Okay, these are certainly 4 major type of injection which you will be seeing lot of them out in the market. Okay, just search for the most common injection attack. You will see MySQL injection attack, and you will find multiple vulnerability still is been presented for particularly for MySQL. Okay, we will be looking into this as well into a practical today. Okay, SQL itself is a big topic. Almost if we try to cover this MySQL injection topic, it will cover almost 40 to 48 hours. Okay, particularly we can have one whole course into this. Companies are still adapting this. Okay, it's still in process. Many of the companies are been following the latest version as well, and we are also going with an 2021 list as well, because we don't want, or we don't want any particular person to be lag behind, because as of now you can see there are multiple attacks has been happening into many website, into many organization. Okay, so we cannot keep ourselves outdated, isn't it? Down the line, if you go with an 2021, even this thing is been updated. It's an 2021 list, and we are currently in an era of an 2022. It's also almost an end. In between, there are multiple attacks has been introduced recently on an WhatsApp. what that particular attacker has done, he has changed, he has particularly used an GIF in place of an image where we upload our image, our profile picture. Over there he uploaded a GIF. Okay, and from that particular thing he directly had an access to the database. Same thing happened with your this Zoom as well. And last at this particular session, same thing has been happened. In place of this image, he uploaded we can upload this particular GIF. Same vulnerability was there for your Telegram as well. This thing has been patched as of now. Again, after patching this vulnerability for an WhatsApp, one small kid has breached this thing as well. What he has done, he has uploaded this GIF inside an group profile where we make a group, and from there had an access to the database. Okay, so as of now, these are the list what they had introduced as per the market trend, but again it keeps on changing. Mandatory, they are going with a 3-year program, but if we want to keep ourselves updated, we need to check what is happening, what is trending in the market. Or what organization do? They introduce new policies. They keep on doing the VAPT for that particular website or for that particular organization. That's why on every quarterly we perform a VAPT. Predefined vulnerabilities, what is already happened in the market, isn't it? In Mitre, if we simply, let me show you that as well. Okay, so okay, Mitre, what they are doing, they are an this non-funded body. They are just maintaining this thing. Okay, they had introduced this attack. Okay, these are the framework which many organizations are been using to improvise their cybersecurity. Okay, first of all, Mitre and Attack is not a new platform or not a new framework. Both are a separate term. Okay, Mitre is a non-profitable American organization, and Attack is introduced by an Mitre. No, there are not particular one particular technique we can go on, because again, uh, today I am performing, I am going within one particular step. There is not a constant step to perform any attack. If that has been done easily, every attack has been traceable. Okay, again, these are the pre-listed top attacks what Mitre has introduced. And again, if we want to if we want particularly a secure environment, so we add this list inside our organization. Okay, and if we want this particular to be listed, so what we can do, we can add it from here. Okay, I can simply create a layer, particularly if I am owning any enterprise, any organization. So what attack I want to add on, or I want to see how that particular attack pattern is there. Okay, if you see this carefully, so these are what, these are your, so these are generally what, these are the attack patterns. Okay, inside this, if
Yes.
you see over here, so APT16, again, what is this? This is a China-based threat group which has been particularly doing a spear phishing campaign. How they will be performing this campaign? So these are the attack pattern technique used. If you go inside this, so these are the pattern they will be going on, and we can trace this pattern. If I want my particular environment to be secure, if I am sitting into that particular area where the attack is very commonly has been done. Okay, so I will be adding this list. I will be blocking this list over there. If someone is trying to perform an active DNS straight away, it will be monitor. If someone is particularly performing to check my domain register, where my particular domain has been registered, he's trying to check all this, I can simply block that thing, create a rule over a firewall. Okay, so
Yeah.
these are an attack patterns. Okay, so over here, let's say I want to go with APD1. Okay, I added in my list. Now what I will be doing, I will be simply download this as well. Okay, or else let's say I want to add one more list into this. But before to that, what I will be doing, I will be giving a score over here. Let's say from 0 to 3, and I want to check whether my both the attack pattern are similar to no, or not. Okay, I had given a score. After that, I will be giving this number 1 score value as 1. Things have been highlighted over here. Okay, so these are the attack pattern. Now what I will be doing, I will be adding one more attack into this. Let's say, so we will be simply adding this both the thing. Okay, and can you see over here, enterprise attack v11, enterprise attack v10. This attacks are keeps on updating. Right now they have been using an v11, the updated one. Okay, by default they had created two layers, A and B, isn't it? So I will be adding this thing, A plus B. Simply it has created me, given me the list of it. And heard about cyber kill chain? Okay, so this is your cyber kill chain model. Cyber kill chain is what? It is an attack pattern. Okay, so I will be simply exporting it into an Excel, and over there I will be having all this list, how that particular attack is going to be. Yes. So again, this will give you certainly exposure, or it will particularly define that you can follow this step. Okay. Apart from this, we are not 100% relying on Mitre. Okay. These are certain techniques which we can apply into your organization. Apart from that, you should be adding some more filters into that particularly to be secure from the network and any particular attackers. Okay, so this is setting one layer. Apart from that, you will be adding multiple layer of insecurity into this. If particularly one application has been given for me to perform a pen testing. Okay, let's say one website has been given. So I will be trying to perform an each and every attack. First, I will be checking for an condition. Each an attack comes with an condition. Whether that condition is been true, then only this attack can be possible. Okay, again, there are conditions for it. To perform an injection, there is a condition. That condition should be met. Then only I can perform an attack. Straight away, I cannot go up and perform an sensitive data exposure attack. There are certain conditions for it. That condition to be met over there. Or else what we can do, if there is any particular port is been open, if there any particular page is been giving you certain open source. Let's say this is my website, InfosecTrain. Now, this InfosecTrain website will be having certain unique pages, isn't it? Where I am giving my details over there, where I'm filling my details. Okay. Now, what I'm doing as a pen tester, I will try to attack into those unique pages where are certain fields. In that field, I am adding my name. I'm adding my email ID. Okay. First, what I will be doing, I will try to attack into those fields. Then I will try to attack into an URL. Then I will try to attack into any particular open field where I can give an input and I get an output. If I get an input and same input I am getting as an output, that means I can perform an attack into this. This is one condition for an XSS attack. Correct? Then I will be creating a report out of it. Then that report is be submitted to the team, and they will be that team will be forwarding it to an application team, and they will be fixing up this thing. This was your top 10 2007 list. Okay, now we have 2021 list. Okay, can you see the changes have been done over here? Your injection has been moved to third. Okay, and first what we have, broken access control followed by your cryptographic failure. Again, it has been renamed with your sensitive data exposure. Then we have an injection. Then we have an insecure design, security misconfiguration, vulnerability outdated component, identify and authentication failure, software and data integrity, security login and monitoring, server side request forgery. Okay, so we are following this 2021 list. Previous to that, we have been following 2017 list. Now we have an updated list which we are following as of now. Discuss here HTTP status code. Now this HTTP status code is very commonly seen when you browse. Okay, when you're particularly browsing a link and you cannot reach that particular link. Okay, so this HTTP method is defined to set, or it particularly indicates that your desired action that is being performed for a given resources that also can be known. So this request method, sometimes it refers to an HTTP words. Okay, so we have 5 points inside an HTTP status code. Okay, and we also call it as a source code or status code. Okay, starting with 1xx, that is your informational. So it start with 100. Okay, so it means the request has been received and the process is continue. For example, when we particularly visiting a website and it has been giving me an error 100. Okay, so continually only the part of a request has been received to the server. Okay, so this is a user, he is particularly want to visit any particular website and the request has been received to the server, but as of long it has not been rejected by the client. Okay, still it is in process. It is used to process, and at the time after certain period of duration you will get a reply from your client to the server, that is your 100. Okay, so that means that your request has been received but it is in process. The same thing, These are the list of it. Starts with 100. That is your informational, which means your request is in process. Second, start with 200. That means success. It means the action was successfully received. Okay, it has received, it has understood and has accepted. So when we receive 201, that means okay status, and it means the action was successfully received, understood and accepted. Okay, so whatever we are sending to the server, he is understanding and accepting it, but didn't get any reply. So we have an 2001 from directly from an 201 reply from an server side, bad gateway or something like that. Okay, then we have your 3xxx starts with 300. It's an redirectional. Okay, it means further action must be taken in order to complete the request. So generally you see this in a website when you move any particular website permanently. Okay, so this goes with 301. The request page has been moved temporarily to a new URL. Yes, but the developer had forgot to change the path of that particular website. When you visit that website and you find out that URL has been moved, if you change the path and update it in the backend, you will get a web page, but by default, he haven't changed that link. He hasn't updated the link. He will get an this is a one error. When we are using any particular torrent website, many a times after 2 months, 3 months, this website will get expired and you will see this error 301. Okay, then we have is your 4xx, that is your client error, starts with 400. Let's suppose today we are sitting into a webinar, and this particular there is one particular page in an InfosecTrain website about which is been containing details of this webinar, correct? infosectrain.com/masterclass, isn't it? So what you will get? 404 not found. Then we have an 401 as well. That is what? Unauthorized request on a page is being done. Your username and password are an unauthorized. Okay, they are particularly authorized for an internal user. Okay, so during that time we get this error 401 unauthorized request page. Only the authorized username and password, or only that particular authorized user can access this database. Okay, then we have 5xx. Okay, it will give you many time this 501 because that is again from a server side, isn't it? Your internal
Yes.
servers have not been working. Over here,
You,
what it
sir,
has been saying, it's a client side error, not from a database side. So you will get a request, you will get an error from a server side. Let's
correct.
say this particular server has been under attack and this has been down. Straight away, all the requests which you are making will forward it to this server 2, and this we call it as a load balancer. And this server will going to give a reply back to the user, each and every individual. So what we have a backup server over here. Okay, everything has been balanced. Again, if I'm getting multiple requests, so what I will be doing, I will be performing a load balancer. So each and every page will be divided, and request will be forwarded into the small packets and will be received in the database. Again, so what we are doing, we are balancing this thing, balancing all the requests. Okay, now when we are talking about server error, this will directly come from your server side. So moreover, you will be getting an error of 500, that is your internal server error. So the request is not completed and the server met to an unexpected condition. So during that time, you will get this error 50, 500, internal server error. These are your web application top 10 list. Okay, starts with your broken access control, then your cryptographic failure down to your server side request forgery. Okay, again inside your particularly we will be looking into an injection. There are four major types of injection: SQL, command, LDAP, and XML. Okay, and we will try to perform an attack into one particular web page. Okay, now if I want to attack or if I want to perform an SQL injection, what I have done, I had simply divided this attack into 4 steps. Okay, so we will be going with a step by step and we will try to perform an attack. First, let's understand how that has been done. Okay, so let's get an page where we can attack. It's an again a scenario page, open source scenario page where you can perform this attack. Okay, so this will be the website where we will be. Okay, now, okay, but what the developer has done at the back end. So whenever we post any query or any request inside this field, so it is going in an binary form. Okay, when I'm saying a binary form, it will go in this 1 or 1 equals to 1. What does that mean? That means anything goes with an true value will always be an true. Okay, so what I am doing, I will be going with an binary, but if I go with an binary, my condition will never met. So what we have an query string. Okay, now what my query string has been saying, my query should be balanced. This is my query, 1 or 1 equals to 1. Okay, if you see this website, what has been saying? test php dot web. At the end, it is an PHP. Okay, this is my website, but my website is not going like this. What it is actually going, it is going in this form. So what developer has done? He has simply masked this thing, which I cannot see, which you cannot see. But your request is going in a double quote. Now this double quote is balancing this double quote. Okay, so whatever request has been transferring from whatever request has been going to in server, it is going inside this quote. So this quote is balancing this quote. Again, what my string is, what my binary function is, 1 or 1 equals to 1. It will not going to balance. So we will be going with a query string. What will be the query string? One single quote or 1, 1 equals to 1. This single quote is going to balance this single quote, and this single quote is going to balance this single quote. Okay, so over here in the field of an username and password, I will be going with an query string. And this query string has been related to this input type equals to your text, whatever you feel particularly add into this particular text. Okay, what my query string is? 1 or 1 equals to 1, and add a quote in front of this. One single quote or single quote, one single quote equals to single quote 1. And try to check it. We are simply giving a string over there. So what we have done? We have done an attack over here. So what I have done, I had simply given a true value to my server, and server has replied to that particular true value. So anything goes with true will always give an true. So that means I had performed one attack into this particular page, into this particular website. Now, can you tell me I'm inside this particular page, inside this particular website? So which user this will be? Either I am an admin user, root user, or I am a normal user. What do you think? Which user I will be? I have an access to this website. I am inside this website. So what user will be I am? Okay. So whenever we are performing this attack, so whatever the entry will be there inside your database, you will get the entry of your first table, first column. This is how your database will look like. It will be containing a column and a rows. Okay. Inside each particular column, there will be certain fields. Okay. So now I attacked into this database. So whatever user has been sitting into this first column, so I am inside this user. Either that user can be a normal, either that user can be an admin as well. Okay, so this particular field which I had used, the binary string, okay, so it works with your PHP. And again, there are conditions for it. It doesn't mean I can simply go inside any PHP web page and I can perform this attack. Again, there are certain rules which that particular website or that particular web server has been added. Okay, so still again there will be some condition for it. I cannot perform this attack into every PHP. Okay, if my binary condition has been meeting up, that means I can perform an attack into that particular website. So which condition I had given? 1 or 1 equals to 1. Okay, with that binary condition, I am inside this particular website. Again, so what I will be doing, I will be giving my luck, or I will be trying my luck over there. If that field is empty, if that particular database is not very much secure with this particular input, again, it can be vulnerable to this field, your query string. Okay, so that developer, what he will be doing, he will be blocking this code. Okay, if I'm performing this string, if I'm a developer, what I will be doing, I will be simply blocking this code. So will my string going to run at the backend? No, it won't. What I've done, I played a smart role over here. If I'm a developer, I will be blocking this. I can block this digits as well. So anyone try to perform any particular attack through this particular binary string, again, straight away it will get blocked over there. Okay, so attacker will try to find another way to get inside this. So over there, the developer will play ahead of an attacker. Now what attacker will be doing, he will try to mitigate that thing. Okay, same way we are patching up the thing, and attacker is trying to find out that vulnerable field inside that particular field. Okay, so it's nevertheless one person will be setting up, then again one person will be setting that particular level up. Again, it's a win-win situation for both the end. What we will be doing, we will try to perform an SQL injection now. Okay, if you remember what I said, there are particularly 4 steps to perform an SQL injection, isn't it? So we will be looking a step by step now. Okay, you simply performed what? You had simply performed an web application pen test, web application vulnerability out there. Okay, again, if I want to perform an SQL injection, there are certain conditions for it. Okay, if my first condition is been meeting, that means I can perform an SQL injection in that web page. Okay, so what are those conditions? Now first step is to perform an SQL injection, we required certain conditions. First, let's see our condition. Okay, so my condition will be character equals to number. Okay, if this condition has been meeting, that means I can perform an injection into this website. Okay, now to perform an injection, there are the steps. Now first step will be test the SQL injection. Okay, now to test a particular SQL injection, what do we have? We have to break the developer code. What we will be doing? We will be breaking the developer code. Okay, after that, I will be going with step number 2. My step number 2, what it will be? Find how many vulnerable column in the database. Okay, once it has been done, I will be moving to step number 3. that is exploit the vulnerable column. Okay, now with this I will try to see how many columns are there inside an database. Okay, first what I will be doing, I will check whether my condition has been meeting or not. After that I will be breaking the developer code, then I will be balancing it, then I will try to see how many number of columns inside that particular database is. Now once I have the list of an column, I will try to see whether there is any particular vulnerable column are there inside the database. If there is any vulnerable column, I will try to exploit that vulnerable column. I will try to get all the information from that column. Okay, and when I'm talking about a vulnerable column, this is how your database will look like. It comes with an rows and column, isn't it? Now, whenever any user is trying to make an entry, is trying to update his entry into this database, many a times we get a particularly error, bad gateway. Okay, we want to upload any file, we are trying to add a user list into this database. Straight away, due to some network issue, we are getting a particularly a bad gateway error or into or any particular user error. So during that time, your database will be allocating one particular entry to this particular user, but the request is not fulfilled over here. So straight away, it will go as a null. Okay, now this particular field is an entry field. We will try to take an advantage of this field, this null field, or this blank field, or you can say the blank space. Okay, we will try to exploit this. We will try to inject our query inside this blank space and try to collect the information out of it. Okay, so first I need to see where my condition has been meeting up. Okay, so let me have that particular page where my field is getting a number at the end in an URL. Okay, so I will be performing an attack into this URL. Okay, so let's see, it's in saying, and again PHP, I need particular field where are the details, and there should be a number at the end. Okay, my first best practice will be there should not be a variable equals to number, and this particular variable and number over here, no one can perform and first step over here. Again, the blank space, it will be my last step. So what I will be doing, I will be straight away blocking the first step of for any attacker. Okay, what my first step is that no one can break this developer code. If that particular developer code is bit broke, then only the attacker can perform a step number 2, step number 3, and step number 4. So straight away, why I will be going and blocking the step number 4? First, I will try to see whether an particular attacker can follow the step number 1 or not. Isn't it? What is your cyber kill chain model? What it has been saying? It has been saying that how the attacker will go and follow the step. First, he will try to collect an information. What is an first thing to perform an attack? Information gathering, isn't it? Step number 2, scanning. Step number 3, enumeration. Okay, these are the steps which the attacker has been following. These are the rules that any pen tester and attacker will be following. Same way, to perform any attack, there are certain steps. So we will be blocking the initial steps. So what developer will be doing? He will try to block this code. Okay, again, this is a test page. Okay, it's a test environment. Again, for in e-commerce, there are certain rules, there are certain security as well. Over there, can you see? They're not, connection is not very much secure. Straight away, they are not using any security over here. Okay, this is just this particular environment is just to get an understanding how this attack can be done. Okay, what are the steps to perform this attack and how we can mitigate this attack? When I'm saying I need to follow certain step, I need to perform. If I need to perform this step, I will be having certain rules. So what my rule number one has been saying: condition variable equals to number. Okay, my condition has been met. Now I can try to perform an attack over here. Okay, so step number one: break the developer code. Okay, so how this particular website has been going at the back end? Whenever any particular website, if you try to if you try to browse any website, it is not going in this form. At the back end, it is going in this form. You won't be seeing this double quote. Okay, the developer will block this thing which is not visible. Okay, to perform an SQL ingestion, there are a condition that variable equals to number situation. Okay, my condition has been meeting over here. Now what I will be doing, I will be simply going with the step number one, that I need to break this particular developer code. I need to unbalance this query. Okay, this double quote is been balancing this double quote over here. I need to unbalance this query. Okay, so I can perform, I can try an SQL injection into this. Okay, so the value which is given inside the code is an actually put by the developer. Okay, so value is what? It's a parameter. So one is the value. So that they have specified a double quote around it, and it has been sending a value inside that particular double quote. So this double quote are being used, which is not visible to us. Now what we are doing, we are performing the first step. We will be breaking this developer code. Okay, so to break this developer code, what I will be doing, I will be simply adding a single quote at the end. Okay, this double quote is been balanced by this double quote. Now this single quote is not balanced with any of the query over here. What do I have now? I have added extra bit of code which is traveling inside an URL, which ideally throws out an error to me in front of me. Isn't it? The moment I put a single quote and I hit an enter, it has given me an error. Now read this error, what it has been saying. Always remember, errors are your best friend. This is particularly one type of an attack. What we are doing, we are doing an injection attack. So it's not always mandatory that you will be going only with an injection attack. There are the list of it. Okay, you can go with an XSS as well. If there is any field inside your page, okay, so if I visit, let's say, InfosecTrain. Okay. Now, over here, does any admin access has been required? If I want to perform any injection attack, if this particular website is vulnerable to injection attack, so what I will be doing, I will try to search a field. What that field will be? That there is an input field which can give an output over here. So I will try to perform an attack into this input field, or else I will try to perform an attack into this input fields where where I am putting anything over here, it will reflect as it is. Then this particular website is vulnerable to that. First, I will be going and I will be trying in each and every attack. I will try to see whether that particular website is vulnerable to that attack or not. Then only I can perform an attack. Until unless I cannot perform any attack. Developers are smarts nowadays. So what they are doing, they are simply blocking all those things. If I'm adding a single quote over here, so what developer can do, developer can simply block this thing. Whenever he's writing anything, okay, whenever he's writing any code, he will be simply adding one more line over here that this code will get blocked. If anyone try to perform this attack, straight away the code will get blocked and you will never get an error, you will never get an access to that. Along with that, what I will be doing, I will be blocking all the special characters. To perform any attack, there are particularly strings running in the backend. So straight away, I will be blocking all those things. Okay, so whatever I want to add, I will be going with an normal condition. That means I will be simply going with an plain text, isn't it? I can add any input, I can add any field in a plain text format. So all this character will get blocked over there. So again, this comes with a different code as well. Let's say this is a character. Now, if I decode this character, it also comes with an 03E. If I decode this thing, again, if I decode this thing, it comes with 025E. Okay, so I will keep on blocking this thing. If I am a developer, I will be blocking this thing. I will be only keeping a place where you can give an input into an plain text format. All these particular attacking characters have been blocked from there. Okay, whenever I am providing this thing, whenever I will be doing adding some particular thing, so what I will be doing after adding it, I will try to test that page. Okay, so we will be using certainly tools, that is your Bobsuit Pro. Okay, I will be running that scan. I will try to test all the port from that website and I will try to check whether that page is vulnerable or not, and after that I will be uh, making that page live. Okay, so again, it has a process to it. If I'm particularly adding anything into any page, I'm adding a new page in a web page in my website as well. First I will perform a test. Okay, I will try to run each and every attack into that. Again, we have an automated this softwares as well, tools as well. They will be giving certain list of it. If that particular page, if any port is open in that page, if any attack can be performed in any of the field, first I will try to block those attack. Then I will be making that page alive. When I say it, errors are your best friend. Okay, so what this particular error has been giving me, it is giving me certain syntax, and also it is saying that that this particular page is using my SQL server, isn't it? Do we know that which particular server they have been using previous to this? So what I will be doing, I will be trying to perform an attack into MySQL server. I know the server name. I will be trying to maintain, I will try to balance my query first and then try to fetch an information from the server. Okay, you got the backend database name. Before to that, we are not aware about this particular database. Now, after this, what I will be doing, I will be going with an balance the query. So I will be balancing this page. I will be trying to get my page back. Okay, so whatever you do with respect to SQL, those all queries. Okay, so now we will be broken the developer. We had broken the developer code. Now you need to balance that particular developer code as well. Okay, now this comes with a vendor to vendor as well. Okay, so to balance this code, we have a commenting vectors. Okay, commenting vector for MySQL is go with an hash. For MS SQL, it's an hyphen hyphen. MS SQL is what? Microsoft SQL Server. For Oracle, it's an hyphen hyphen again, and we have customized commenting vector as well. Okay, if the developer is very much smart over here, he can simply block this commenting vector. If anyone tried to add this thing, if anyone tried to use this vector straight away, if the developer is smart, he will block this thing. Okay, now we can use certain customized commenting vector as well. What are those? Those will be your hyphen hyphen space hyphen 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 plus hyphen or hyphen hyphen slash hyphen. This all will be your customized commenting vector that can use in a website as a pen test monkey, you can say. Okay, now in this case, we have an database that is of a MySQL. So why don't we use a hash to balance our query? So what I will be doing, I will be simply going with an, okay, let's hit enter. Let's see. Again, error. That means my query is not balanced. Okay, let me try to remove this thing and then enter. Now, what do I have now? Is my page back? Isn't it? I had balanced this query, I had balanced this particular web page. I had broken that particular web page and I had balanced it again. Okay, now I had performed steps over here. Now my next step will be find the number of column. So I had unbalanced my query. After that, I had balanced my particular query. Okay, that means I can simply perform an SQL injection into this. Now, after that, my agenda will be try to find out in this particular database how many columns are there. Okay, first I will try to see how many columns are there. Then I will try to attack into one particular column and try to find a vulnerable column and try to gather an information from that column. Now to find a column, we go with the value that is your order by. Okay. Now this is a query which we'll be using to find the column list. How your database has been structured? Okay. This will be your rows. This will be your column. Isn't it? There are table inside this particular database. Okay. Now my goal agenda will be try to find the column inside this. Okay. So to find this particular column, we have a query that we will be using, that is an order by and group by. These are the two queries from a database admin perspective, which has been running two different way. If I say order by, so order by means it will be arranging the value in a particular order. Let's say you want in an ascending order, so it will do in an ascending order. Okay, and if you want into a descending order, it will give you in a descending order. Okay. Group by means what? It will group them into a particular or into a specific format. Let's say if we are talking about the trees. Okay, I have a garden. Inside a garden, I have 100 trees. Okay, out of those 100 trees, I have 50 trees of a mango, 50 tree of an banana. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be categorizing it them. 50 mango, 50 banana, and so on. So these are the group by function, which is doing a categorization over there. So this both the value which is used in an particular database as an admin perspective. So you will try and we will going to try and we will try to find a different output. But from an attacker perspective, both of them will give you the same output. Okay, so first we will go with an order by and we'll see that where I am particularly finding an error. Okay, until and unless I get an page back, I will try and I will go with this function. Okay, now my agenda is to find the number of columns. So what I will be doing, I will be simply going with an value that is of an order by. Okay, now what I will be doing, I will be taking a guess chance over here. Let's say I'm imagining there are 100 column inside this. Okay, if there are 100 column, that means it will giving me my page back. If it is not, it will simply throwing me an error. Okay, now let's try to find out how many number of column inside this particular pages. Error, unknown column. That means there are no 100 column inside this. So again, I will go with an lesser value. Let's go with 50. Again, a problem. Let's go with 20. Again, a problem. Let's go with 5. Okay, it is giving me a page back. That means at least there are 5 column inside this, but I don't know how many total number of column are there inside this. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be simply going with an value until and unless I get an error. And before to that, I get my page back. So let's go with 10 page back. That is minimum 10 are there. What are the maximum size? Let's go with 15, an error. Let's go with 13. Again an error. Let's go with 12. Again an error. Let's go with 11. A page back. How many number of column are there inside this database of this page? Isn't it? That means there are 11 number of column. Okay. So what my step number 1 has been saying? Break the developer code. Once it has been done, try to get the page back. Once it has been done, try to find out how many number of column are there inside this particular database. Okay. Now I know there are 11 number of column inside this particular database. Okay. Now I will try to find out which particular column is an vulnerable column. Where that particular missing value is, where that particular garbage value has been present, where that particular null value has been present. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be going with a command that is your union select all. Okay, to find a vulnerable column out of the list of a column, we go with an union select all. Okay, and we will be going with each and every column over here. We will be calling out each and every column. Okay, so how we will be writing our query? So it will look like this. Union select all followed by we will be calling out each and every column. 1 comma 2 comma 3 comma 4 comma 5 comma 6 comma 7 comma 8 comma 9 comma 10 comma 11. Okay, so we'll use this union select option and we will try to find out which particular column is an vulnerable column. Look into this field. What difference you can see from other? I can see this particular image is a broken image. Along with this, can you see each and every image have a name? Now this over here, it is giving me an value over here. That means my 7, 2 and 9 is an vulnerable column. Out of this, I will take an advantage from this column. Okay, I have a particular database. Out of that database, I know that 7, 2 and 9 is holding a null value inside this. So I will try to inject my query inside this and try to find out particular details of this database. check one more thing. Inside a database, can you see, can you imagine that, let's say this is my database. Okay. My database will start with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 with go on. Isn't it? Can any developer or any this particular database provider will be going with an negative option? Do we have something in our database by -10, -9, -8 like this? Will never. Or we do have something in our database goes with an decimal 0.1, 0.2, 0.3. We'll be never having this. Or we will be having something if query or something field like -1 lakh. Never. So what we can do to filter it out to get this particular vulnerable column into an one page. So what we will be doing, we will be simply deliberately going with a value over here that is of an -1 lakh. Because I know developer will never use this function. So developer can block this function as well. Negative one, he can block the positive one as well. He can block the decimal as well. If it is not blocked, straight away I will getting an particularly vulnerable page in front of my screen. Okay, so let's go with this command and let's try to see whether I can filter it out all this particular vulnerability in one page or not. Cool, it is done. Now, what is the difference into a previous page and into this page? What are the different vulnerability do we have? Now I have one more thing over here. Previous to that, is my 11 number of column is vulnerable? No. Now it is giving me that my 11th column is also vulnerable. Now I will try to take an advantage from this column. Okay, and how we will be doing that? We will be going with an simply replacing that column by the function we want to call on. Okay, let's say from an second column I want an detail, okay, of this what particular database what was the database name. Okay, so simply calling with an database function. Okay, it will give me the database name. Next, which was my vulnerable column along with 2? What is the version that this particular database has been using? Okay, so I will be calling this default function. Okay, along with that I have 9. I want the user detail as well. Along with this I will be keeping 11 as it is. Okay, I want these 3 things out of this. Let's see if I can get something out of this or not. Okay, so this is what this is the version of the database, this is the name of a database, and this is the user of the database. So what I did, I exploited that particular vulnerability. What was my vulnerability? 27911. I exploited this thing and I tried to collect some information out of it, isn't it? Isn't it? Now, again, I'm not very much happy with this information. I want some more detailed information out of this. I want the user detail, I want the username and password as well. Okay, now I perform my 4 step. First, break the developer code, balance the query, find the number of column and exploit the vulnerable column. Okay, this is the 4 step. I performed this step. Now I want some more detail out of this. Okay, I want all the user detail. I want the password of the user as well, so I can log in into this account. Okay, along with this, I will show you how to perform an automated attack into this website as well. Okay, this is the manual. Manually, I am performing an attack. I will show you with one particular tool and with 3 steps, and within 5 minutes, I can get that information out of this as well. I will show you that as well. First, we will try to perform a manual attack. Okay, I'm halfway into it. I want more details, so I will be doing an further steps as well over here. So now what we'll be doing, we will further exploiting our vulnerability. Okay, we will be more exploiting our vulnerability, or you can say vulnerable column. Okay, we will try to see what is the table, what are the table name, what are the column, what are the column name, and try to collect some detailed information from it. Okay, now let's see what are the commands for it. Okay, now when we are talking about a database, how it looks like, this is my database. Okay, now on top of this database, there is an information schema. Okay, inside this information schema, there is your database, and we can also say that is information schema is what? It's your blueprint of database. Okay, there is an information schema on the top. Under every information schema, there is a database, and under database there are columns and your rows. Okay, information schema is what? It's your blueprint. Now what we will be doing, we will try to see the table and the table name, and we will be calling out that particular table name from this information schema. Let's see what are the commands to it. And let me do one more thing. Let me also paste those command over the chat. Okay, now I will be going with a command that is your union select all one. Okay, now in place of my blank table or my vulnerable column, I will be calling out for an table name because I want to collect an information of a table name. What is the table name inside this database? Okay, and from where I will be calling out this table name, and I will be keeping this thing as it is because apart from this, I don't want as of now other information. So replacing users with 9 and version with 7. Okay, and now I will be calling out this function from your information schema. Okay, that is my this blueprint. Okay, and what I want from information schema, my tables. From where? From my table schema. Okay, and I will be calling out this whole function from the database. Okay, what I did, I simply call out for a table name, give me the name of the table from where, from the information schema, that is a blueprint where the table schema is, and this from the particular database. Okay, let's see what output I get. These are my table name. What was my database name? Acunetix. Inside that database, these are the table present. There is a table by the name artist, card, category, feature, guestbook, picture, products, users. Now out of this, what do you think? Which will be an important function for me? From where I can get some informative, some particularly a good information inside an users? There might be a chance that inside this particular table there will be all the user details. Okay, now I will be shifting my focus into this particular table. Okay, now I will try to get inside this table and I will try to collect an information of the users. Okay, I have the table name. Okay, now I will be calling out for an column. What is my column? User is my column, and I will try to see what is there inside this column. What are the details inside this column? Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be simply calling for an column function over here instead of a table. I have the table name. Now I want the column details. Okay, column name followed by from where I want this column name to be called on. From information schema columns. Okay, where the table name is users. Isn't it? So what I will be calling, I will be calling for a column name from this user table. Okay, give me the list of column which is presented inside this user. Okay, let's see what result I do have after this. What do I have from this particular column? Can you see some changes? I have list of it. Inside this user table, there is an address, card, CC, email, name, pass, phone, and an uname. That means inside this all the address has been stored, inside this all the card has been stored, inside this all the credit card details have been stored, your emails have been stored, your name has been stored, password has been stored, phone has been stored, and your username has been stored. Okay, now I will be shifting my focus into the uname and into the pass. I want the list of an username, I want the list of an password. Okay, so can I go like this? I want uname, I want pass. Okay, from where I want this particular thing to be called on from an users. Okay, so now will it give me the result? Let's see. What do I have? Why this particular query is giving me an error? I simply called out for the username and pass in this particular bank field. Okay. In place of second number of column, which is an vulnerable column, I called for a new name and pass. Okay. Particularly, I called from an user. So it is throwing me an error. Why it is throwing me an error? Because how my query has been going. Union select 1, uname, pass, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, my query has been calling out for first function over here, second column over here, third column over here, fourth column over here, fifth, sixth, seventh over here, eighth over here, 9, 10, 11, 12. Is my third column is vulnerable? No. That's the reason it is giving me an error. So I cannot call out to function. Okay. Again, I can go with a new name followed by all the characters from username. It will give me the username, and after that I will go with an pass. So it will give me the password. But again, I am a lazy person. I don't want to call out this individual. I want this thing in an one go. Okay. For that, what we can do, we can simply merge two commands. Okay. So how I will be doing, I will be going with calling for a function that is of an concat. Okay. And if I want to concat two function, I will go with group concat followed by uname will be giving a space in between. So this followed by pass, then followed by the other function. So what I had done, I had simply merged this both the command with one by calling out a function that is your group concat. Okay, so I will be using this thing over here. So how my query will look like? So it will look like this. Group concat followed by uname Okay. Now I want a space in between. So I will be calling for an double quote, which is giving a space. Okay. Followed by pass, where the function will be as it is. I cannot give a space in between. It will not read my function. So never keep a space in between. In between, in place of space, we will be going with an underscore. Okay. Now let's see what do I have. Okay. With this credential, I can simply log in into this particular web page. What I did, I had simply taken an advantage from my vulnerable column. I tried to find out what are the table inside this particular column is. Okay. Along with that, if I had the list of a table, particularly I'd focused uh, my particular target into a couple of table, that is your uname and pass, and I try to collect some more information from that table, that is my username and password. I have a username and password in front of me. Okay, I can simply use this credential and can log in inside this particular web page. Okay, so what I have done, I had simply performed an SQL injection over here. Okay, this is how I will be attacking into an web page with an SQL injection. These are the steps to it. Okay, now let me show you the automated one. It almost took an hour to perform this. Now this automated one will be taking almost of 3 to 4 minutes. Within that, you will be having all the information in front of you. Okay, now if I want to attack into any of that particular web page or into any URL, first I want that particular URL inside my system. So what I will be doing, I will be simply going with that page. Okay, this is the page where I want to attack. Copy this and let me try to open this inside my Linux machine. Okay, this is the page where I want to attack. Now we will be going with an tool. Okay, now we will be performing an attack through an automated one. First, let me get an higher privileges. Sudo su. So what I will be doing, I will be using one particular tool over here. The tool name is here SQL map. Okay, this is the tool we will be using to run my attack. Okay, and to run an attack, how that particular this code will be going on, I will be calling for this SQL map followed by in which URL I want to perform an attack, -u. Along with that, I will be giving the URL in between this code. I want to call this particular URL. Inside this URL, I want to perform my SQL attack. Okay, now what I want the database name followed by -dbs, and I will be closing my function. U stands for URL. Okay. Hyphen hyphen DBS stands for database and hyphen hyphen batch stands for your default setting. And it will be closing my function. That is I want my function to be closed over here. Is it the same thing which I got from my manual test when I performed my manual attack? During that time, was the database name was accurate? Now, what I will be doing, I will be quickly enumerating this database. Okay, so again, I will be going with an SQL map, calling out fill this URL. Now I know my database name. Okay, for that I will be going at an -d followed by the database name. Okay, -d followed by the database name. Is this my database name which I want to attack in? Okay, now I want the tables details and I will be closing my function over here. I have the database name. Now I want to perform an attack into this database. From this database, I want the list of tables. Okay, I will be calling out for a function by --hyphen tables and will be closing my function. Artist, card, category, feature, guestbook, picture, use, products, user, and we attacked into an user. Remember? Now, what I will be doing, I will be simply enumerating this user table. What I will be doing, I will be calling out for a function. I will be dumping all the detail what is there inside this user. Give me all the details. What is there inside this user? All the username along with the password. Okay, so what I will be doing, I will be simply calling for that table. Okay, -d for the database name, -t for the table name. What was my table name? Users. What I want, dump all the things. Okay, and I will be closing my function. Let's see what I have. Now, what I said, --batch, default setting. Straight away, it has taken the setting over here. And can you see something happening over here? It is performing an dictionary based attack for me. Okay, it is trying to match the username and password. Let's wait for the result over here. Again, he called out for the default function straight away. He didn't ask me to go with an YNN, yes or no. With --d, sorry, this batch, it will call out for the function. Now, it has given me the list of it. Okay, You see, it has given me the list of it. Now, again, starting with 4 process, no clear password was found. Okay, out of that, he had given me some details of the particular URL. Okay, and let's do one thing over here. Let me try to collect all the details. Okay, now I will be going with an dump-all command. Okay, with this command, it will give me the list of an password. So let's wait for the result now. It is performing an password attack over here, MD5 generator password. It is going with each and every user ID. Okay, now let's get back and let's see what do we have out of it. Along with that, some details over here. Now, this is what these are your list of an password, which is inside an particularly hash format. Okay, each and every user's password. So you can simply crack this and you can have all the password. Okay, now when I performed a manual test during that time, it almost took around 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, now just imagine for this particular automated one, it took almost 3 to 4 minutes to perform all this time. Alright. With 3 steps, I have all the details. I have the database name, I have the table name, and I have the password of each and every user. Isn't it? This is how you will be going to perform an SQL injection with an automated as well and with an manual as well. Play with this. Follow the steps as it is and you can enumerate into this. Okay, now I had shown you particularly into one direction. Okay, you can try to enumerate into any table or into any column. Okay, we had certain time crunch over here, so That's the reason straight away I had shown you what are the step in which particular table we are going to enumerate. So you are going to try on each and every table, try to collect an information whatever you get and try to have those details. Okay, give it a try, give a good practice out of it, and you are good to go with this thing.